Hello, welcome back to Mona's Corner. Excuse my hair. I don't want to take it out yet. So, since I have my cat, I thought today let's talk about animals. So, I was recently just talking to my friend, and we were talking about, I don't know if it's too dark in here. Anyways, so I was talking to my friend, right? And we were talking about how like we feel about animals, when they pass and how like sometimes not necessarily feel happy that an animal's gone, but more like relieved. I don't know. Okay, let's get into it. So, for the longest time, right, I've had animals like since I came out the womb. Like my mom had dogs when she had me. Excuse me. I might start burping because I really am passionate about this. And I don't know, I think it's because I talk too fast whenever I'm passionate. I don't know. Anyways, off track. So, I've had animals my entire life: cats, dogs, turtles, fish, hamsters. All right. Now, when I was younger, when you're a kid, you're a kid. You're going to treat an animal the way you would treat a stuffed animal. You're going to pull their tails. You're going to pick them up wrong. You're going to do things like I still do that stuff. Now, it's not abusive. Okay? I don't do it to intentionally hurt them. I do it to mess with them, And everybody's a little rough with their animals every now and then, especially bigger dogs, right? Now, my cat, this is Jellybean. He's a pretty big cat. He's not a little cat. He's a huge dude. And he's definitely the baby, like my baby. So I mess with him all the time, like all the time, because he messes with me, so I mess back. Um, kind of lost track of what I was saying there. But one thing that's always got to me is seeing, dead animals on the road. Like, obviously, it happens because there are stray animals and they will just run right in front of a car because they don't know any better. Some do, some don't. And it always breaks my heart when I see that. Like, I'm always like, oh my gosh, poor baby. Like it hurts me. And especially knowing that there are people out there that actually intentionally abuse their animals is disgusting. Now, I have never known anybody to abuse their animals, like, ever. There was one guy, like, this was the sweetest dog ever. She never, that I knew of, did anything wrong. Like, she was, I think, a golden retriever mix. Her name, I'd say was, but I don't think she's dead. She's still alive. Her name is Lexi. Lexi. Again, she's like a golden retriever. They're smart dogs. Like, she's so smart. She's so sweet. Like, I don't think she'd ever hurt a fly. But her owner used to like hit her and like get mean with her when she would go outside. But even when she'd go outside, it's not like she'd take off. She'd just go outside, you call her back, she comes back. But he used to, hit her and like be mean to her. I don't know if he's ever like actually like caused her pain. That I don't know. But just knowing that he used to do that to the sweetest, she's a big dog, the sweetest dog ever, like, irked me. And I always say pets don't have a voice. Now, some people will be like, "Oh, well, are you vegan because you're not okay with animal abuse and da 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 da." I'm like, I'm not. Have I thought about it? Many, many, many times. But I don't like a lot of vegetables that would make the imitation meat. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But I don't like to see animals get slaughtered. That's why I like anytime people are like, "What happens if we ran out of food and you had to like kill animals and eat them?" I'm like, I'll eat trees, vegetables, leaves, dirt. Like, I'll eat anything before I even thought about killing an animal. Maybe if I was like starving and I don't know, you could go out of your mind when you're starving. Maybe I would have to get to that point to kill an animal. But even like when I was younger and I'd watch my cousins like catch the fish, gut the fish, cut it up, see all the blood in the sink, like no, like I could never do that. And even when I saw that, I like got grossed out, like disgusted. Um and just knowing that there are people out there that intentionally hurt their animals just like is disgusting. Like I know obviously people hurt people, which is also disgusting. And for people to say that animals are worse than humans, that's not true. An animal only defends itself. But people will say, "Oh, that animal's aggressive." Like no, that animal's if you're scaring it, it's going to defend itself. You know? The same thing we do, right? If there's a human breaking into our house, you know, you're going to have protection, whether it be a bat, a pew pew, a stun gun. Like, you're going to defend yourself, right? No matter what it is. Animals obviously can't pick up a weapon. All that they have is their mouth or their claws or their tail. Like, they don't have a lot of options. They only have their bodies. And even then, that can cause them pain. And I always say that animals don't have a voice. And it's just disgusting of how some people can just use and abuse them, like dog fights. Like, why do people do that? Like, I don't understand. And I don't ever want to understand because then that means I'd be at their level. And I don't ever want to be at that level. But, I'm definitely an animal advocate. um, and, you know, animals, again, they can't tell you how they feel. They can only show you. And my friend was talking about how she knew someone who had a dog, and it was a pit bull, and how this person's kids, didn't know how to treat an animal. And this dog ended up passing away because it ate like some kind of rat poison, I guess. And how she was saying that she had mixed feelings about the dog passing. And I'm like, well, it makes sense, obviously it's sad because she said she, grew up with this dog and took care of it and stuff like that. And she was sad but happy that it passed. And I said, that makes sense because if you knew it wasn't in a good home, at least now the torture's done, and the dog's not suffering anymore. And if the dog was hurt, like it couldn't say anything. And I feel the same way when they put animals down. Like, is it wrong? Yes. Should they go naturally? Yes. But if you think about it, would you want to be in agonizing pain before you pass? Like, wouldn't you just, it sounds terrible to say, but like the dog could get medicated, sure, but it's not like you could ask it and be like, hey, is this enough medication? Like, how do you feel? You can't do that with an animal. Because either way, if they're in pain or in no pain, they're going to look the same. They're going to look sad and down. Well, maybe. I don't know where this is going. I just know that I want to talk about it. Let me know down below. Have you guys grown up with animals your entire life? How do you feel? Do you feel like, oh, oh, do you feel like animals have a personality? Like, there are people out there that could say animals don't have a personality, animals don't have a spirit, animals don't have, like, anything that could be like human, right? I don't think that's true. The spirit thing, I don't know. Because I'm not going to go there. But personality, animals have personality. Like my jelly bean over here, he has attitude like there's no tomorrow. Now I know that it's majority of cats, but we have 3 cats in my home. And this one has attitude. Like he will cause a scene. If he wants attention, you know he wants attention because he's getting in trouble. Like he's jumping on counters, he's knocking stuff over, he's getting your attention. The other cat, the second youngest, Khaleesi, she will just cry and cry and cry for attention. Literally meow like there's no tomorrow. If a door's closed, she doesn't like closed doors. So she will yell and yell until the doors are open or she gets let in. Huh. Isn't that how your sister is? Oh, Beans, come over here. Scoot on in, Bean. Oh, you can't really see him. My camera's too high. But that's her personality. She's like the crybaby, you know, the youngest. Oh, well, I said second youngest, but she's the youngest. He's the second youngest. You know, she's like the baby, you know, she's like the youngest sibling, crying all the time for no reason. You can give her attention, she's still gonna cry. And then we have the oldest, which is Charlie. He will only cry, or like, I say cry, but you know, meow when he's hungry. That's the only time you'll ever hear Charlie talk, essentially, is when he's hungry, you know. And anyways, cats have personalities. And I don't know. I just hate that people don't see that animals don't have a voice for themselves. Like, they can't tell you if they're hurting. They can't tell you things. And for people to literally use that is just disgusting. Like, don't hurt your animal because it makes you feel better. I don't even know why people do it. I'm pretty sure it's mostly guys that hurt animals. I'm sorry, but it's the truth, unless girls just don't get caught doing it. Like I said, when I was younger, you know, I was mean to my animal. Like, I'll still pull his tail and he'll like get mad at me. But I think about it like, well, he bites me for no reason. He makes me mad for no reason. But it doesn't hurt him in the way that he's scared of me. He's not scared of me. Because if an animal is scared of you, you can raise your hand, and if they flinch, then you know you're abusive. If like like if he was abused by me, he wouldn't be on me right now. Like look at this. Literally right by my side. This cat does not leave my side unless I'm not here or he's using the restroom or wants to be somewhere else. Like, he will throw a fit if my door's shut. He will scratch at my door. He will like try and open the doorknob, like throws a fit, right? So that's how I know I don't abuse him. Like I said, I tease him, whatever. Everybody does that with their pets. And whenever, you know, I go to like an animal shelter and I see like a sad, scared animal, I'm like, that animal is abused or neglected. Like, that animal's gonna look at a human and think, you're bad news, you're gonna treat me terribly. And that also has made me, like, in the future, when I have my own place, that I want to foster animals. And I know since I have my own animals, it's going to be hard because if I make a connection, I'm just fostering that animal. And I know that would I would probably be sad to see it go. And you never know, what that person has in store for the animal. But I only want to hope for good. But I definitely want to foster animals, especially knowing that there's a lot of animal shelters out there that get packed. And, majority of the time, it's probably a scared, hurt animal. And that animal needs attention, needs special care, needs to be reminded that it's okay. It's out of that situation, just like us, if somebody was kidnapped and abused for years and years and years, that's all they're going to know. They're going to be scared. It's the same thing with an animal. You obviously have to slowly start introducing it back into life, just like us humans have to do when traumatized. You have to slowly be reassured that everything's going to be okay. You're not in that situation anymore. Some people out there don't get that. And I really want to be a foster parent. Not parent. I don't want to foster humans. I'm sorry, but no thanks. I want to foster animals. And that's something I haven't thought about in a while. But anyways, animals are more than just animals. They can get hurt. Their feelings can get hurt. And like I said, they just can't speak for themselves. And that's what sucks the most is we have to figure out what's wrong with them. They can't just tell us. They can only tell us that something's wrong. That's it. And I don't even know what else to say, but I just wanted to, let y'all know that I'm an animal lover. That's why I have this tattoo. Obviously, love animals from day one and for forever. This is by far my favorite tattoo out of the 4 I have. This is my favorite. It means a lot to me because of how I've grown up. There was even a time, we get monsoon season. I live in Arizona. We have monsoon season. I don't know how other places work. Anyways, and there was this one night I can remember clear as day. It was thundering, pouring, lightning, and I remember just crying my eyeballs out, crying. And I was crying because I was thinking of all the homeless animals out there, sad, cold, in the rain, in thunder, shaking, shivering, and I cried all night long because those animals don't have a roof over their head. And it almost sounds terrible because I don't cry about that for humans. Animals can't give themselves a home, They can't just go and buy a place. They can't just go and walk into a building like animals, like humans can. And that makes it even more sad, And it almost, I feel like I'm going to get hate for this, but I do care about animals more than people. I'll see a homeless person with a dog, and I always think to myself, give me that dog, I'll take it, I'll give it a home. But I know that there are people out there that become homeless out of their control, which I get it. And obviously, like if you have a perfectly stable home and something happens, you have an animal. Like, I know there are some homeless people out there that have a dog because that's their best bud. Like, they say a dog's a man's best friend, and that is true. So I try to tell myself, like, that dog's with its person, at least I hope. That person's not just using the dog to get food, to get money, because I know that there probably are people out there that will literally just use the dog for money. Because, like, people like me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that dog wants food. And obviously you can't just give the dog food because the human's going to eat the food before they give it to the dog. But that's how you could get to people. And that definitely gets to me, and I'm like, oh, that dog's homeless with this person, but this could be their person, their person that they care about, and yada, 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 right? And it's just sad to think about. And just recently, it's a whole story, but just know that there was a dog that came into our lives, and I have a smaller Chihuahua. She's older and smaller. And this dog, Roxy, she got here, and these dogs met when Roxy was a puppy, right? Roxy was like maybe a year, maybe less than a year old when these dogs met. They got along perfectly fine. No problems. Roxy ended up leaving for a few years. She recently came back like in January. And I guess she started to become like territorial, and I guess there was food out. She bit Kayla. So the bigger dog bit the smaller dog. That was the first problem. And then Roxy became an outside dog because she also tried to bite Jellybean. And then there are stray cats outside. They're stray cats, but they practically live at my neighbor's house. Like, she has like setups for them, and she feeds them like twice a day or whatever. So they're stray cats, but they're almost her cats. They just don't go inside. But they're always around her house. They're at her house. And like, if you were to, like, they look as fat as this one does. Like, they look healthy. They look fed cats. They don't look like stray cats. Anyways, so I guess one morning my mom saw Roxy. Well, she heard a cat screaming. And then she peeked out her window and saw Roxy with a cat in her mouth. So we had, like, our cat Charlie, he likes to go outside, right? He's an indoor-outdoor cat. So she freaked out a little bit. So she ended up killing this cat, and my mom had the idea. Well, not, it wasn't even her. Can you get off me real quick? It wasn't even her idea to get rid of Roxy. Her owner got rid of Roxy. And when obviously, yes, it's sad to think that Roxy killed a cat, because I have a cat, and we have a cat that goes outside. But it's like, this cat must have just gotten into the yard, and like, it's nature, Animals are gonna kill each other. It happens. It's sad, but it happens. And her owner gave her away. Like, my mom took her to the pound, and my mom said, oh, I found her on the street. Like, I don't know where she came from, because obviously it's a whole thing if you try to give up an animal. And just knowing that Roxy, like, she's part German Shepherd. She's a German Shepherd mix, and she's a smart dog. Like, she really is. She's a nice dog. Like, she was never mean to us. And just knowing, like, it actually brought tears to my eyes when I thought about it, that Roxy will never be called her name. Because obviously my mom couldn't leave her collar with her and all that stuff. So, like, just knowing that Roxy is never going to be called Roxy again is so sad. And it makes me want to go back, like, go find where my mom took her and get her. But obviously, it's a problem because there's cats around and we have our own cats, and I hate the idea of outside animals like that are like permanently outside. Now when Roxy was here, January, it's cold still, and my mom, they put out blankets, like there's a couch outside of our house and like a mattress, and so Roxy would sleep on that. And she had blankets, they put a heater outside, so like it made me feel better. But still, like, I don't like the idea of her being outside. And before they gave her up, I was thinking, like, summertime is around the corner, and in Arizona, it gets pretty hot. And like, just thinking that she was gonna be outside, like, broke my heart. But it almost breaks my heart more knowing that she's in a pound. Because she's loved, and she has a name, she has a family that she just can't be with. And it just breaks my heart because she's, like I said, she's never going to hear her name ever again that she knows. And that brings me to another thing, real quick, that outside animals I don't believe in at all. Like, anytime I hear somebody has an outside animal, I'm like, why? Why have an animal, period? Like, my boyfriend, when I first got with him, he had 2 dogs outside. They were bigger dogs, and he had one boxer inside. Well, the boxer and his, I don't know, chihuahua, whatever she is. So he had 2 dogs inside and 2 dogs outside. And the 2 bigger, older dogs were outside. And, like, just knowing that they were outside, like, hurt me. And, like, when I saw them, I was like, oh, you guys were outside. Like, that's so sad. One ended up passing. The other one, I guess, ran away. And, like, I don't know, I could never have an outside animal, like, ever. Like, permanently have you outside, then what's the point of having an animal? Only for protection? Like, that's kind of messed up. And I don't know. I could never do it, and I never will do it. Okay, so that's enough of my little rant. Let me know. Again, have you guys had like pets your entire life? I have, I guess my turtle. This is what I was told. I don't know if it's even true because every time I hear it, I'm like, what? Apparently, we had a turtle when I was like really young. And apparently, the turtle got outside of the gate and got ran over. I don't know how true that is, but apparently that happened. So obviously, like, I've lost animals, but never like as I'm older. Like, I lost 2 hamsters, but it didn't affect me like it would affect me if I were to lose Jellybean or like any other animals. I don't know. Let me know if you've lost an animal recently, or like, how did it make you feel? What did you guys do with it? Like, I know majority of people bury it like in their backyard, but I know there's some people that will cremate them. There are some people that will taxidermy them. That's on a whole nother level. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys do when your animals pass? How many pets have you had? Let me know down below. Remember, send in your guys' stories so that I can read them if you guys want. Alright, see you guys in the next. Bye. Bye.